What's up, everybody? Welcome to Flagrant. Al is converted to MAGA. Look at the pants. You are such a grifter, bro. He got a little love from the hunting community, and now he's like, oh, okay, let me ride this shit out. I'm trying to go to, what is it, Honky Tonk Coachella? What is that shit called? Stagecoach. Okay, obviously we got to react to the Trump interview. My reaction is Trump is winning by a landslide.
Okay. Well,
it's not close anymore. Is that the energy y'all felt?
you're a prisoner of the moment.
Yeah, you really are.
We know that about me.
Right.
We know that about me.
Before Trump came on, you're like, yeah, it could go either way. It's very close.
No, before he came on, I was like, he don't got a chance. I was like, he's coming on here. He got to be down bad. He got to be down. I mean, no, we're the best. He got to be down bad. And then after the interview, obviously we saw the reaction.
And you got 20 or 25 text messages, and you were like, this guy's winning.
Yo, listen, it wasn't the 20 to 25 text messages. You know what it was? It was the looks on the street.
Oh, really?
The looks on the street I was getting, it was like, you know when like someone who's trying to sell you drugs, like they give you this like nod? Like a person you don't know, like a person on the street.
Yeah.
Right? They go, you would know.
He's the only one that agreed.
Y'all had no clue how to buy drugs in the street. And I was like, I know that nod. I used to give that to people all the time. So they give you this nod like, yo, like I got what you need.
Yeah.
That's all I've been getting for the last week.
What a different racial reality we live in. Because I've been getting looks like,
Wow, that's so interesting. So you guys have had a
I
different
lost
reaction.
10,000 followers on Instagram. Anybody
Well,
else?
Akash is dumbass. We're doing the Patreon, and he's like, I've just been getting so much hate in the past couple hours.
Yeah.
And we're like, why? He's like, well, I posted a picture of me endorsing Donald Trump.
I didn't endorse it. I said the podcast episode is live.
You posted a selfie with him.
I had a thumbs up.
He couldn't believe that people were upset about it.
He had the thumbs up, but I wasn't that tempted to
So
be like,
just out of
because
curiosity.
it's so fun next to him.
Hold on. Just out of curiosity, you're surprised that there was a negative reaction to you posting a picture with the most divisive human being on the planet.
Smiling, hand in hand.
Yeah. He didn't post like a clip where he was asking a question or nothing. You just did the fanboy pic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
You have to
posted
take a
a
picture with Travis Scott. It's
I
Donald
posted a
Trump.
picture with Kamala. No
Yeah.
question.
Oh, don't do that, please.
I absolutely
Don't
would.
do the I have black friends thing that every podcast is doing
has
before the
one.
interview.
Yeah.
Friends?
Yeah. I have one.
Work colleagues.
Yeah, I have one. He's not in this room, but I have one. You know what I mean?
No. That is a thing that I noticed that like pods, and we were intentional at not doing this, and there have been pods that like Call Her Daddy tried to do with Kamala, and what's it called? And I think Bustin' and the Boys did it when they had Trump on.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Bustin' and the Boys. But essentially what you're trying to do is control the reaction.
Yeah.
So you're like almost like apologizing before you start.
Yeah.
And that was one thing that we said we're not doing on it
Yeah.
because there's nothing wrong with interviewing the Republican nominee for president who is already an
Or
ex-president.
posting a picture with him.
That's crazy,
that's
bro.
crazy.
That's
That
crazy.
You're a
Picture.
big MAGA guy.
Glaze.
Yeah.
Glaze.
You're a fascist
Yo,
bootlicker.
I
That's
know.
what you
really are. Fascist.
I'm sorry. I appreciate good comedy. Y'all don't.
No, you
One of
are.
us is a student of the game here.
Nah,
you're a
that
bad
was
guy.
worse than Andrew's haircut for the past year.
I did have a really
What
good
you did was more racist.
I did have a really
Your
good haircut.
skin
Yo.
looks amazing.
Yo, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I was just
Like
about to
it's
shit on you. I was about to shit on you.
I felt it coming. I felt it coming.
You deflected that.
I did.
Yeah.
Wow. Because he
it's
dissed me and I had something locked
That's
and ready to
the
go.
the podcast
And then he
intro.
just boom.
Podcast
boom.
intro.
That was smart.
Good right
That's
there.
why you do the
Smart.
podcast intro.
Honestly, Alex might win this election. I believe in Alex. So Al was not happy. When Trump called Alex bald, that was one of the most disrespectful things on the podcast. Al, yo,
Do you know how hard I have to bite my tongue to not say something
within
back?
30 seconds, Al had whispered under his breath, yo, your ear don't look shot.
That was wild. That was a ballsy thing. I was shocked.
All Trump had to say was, you got great hair. Why you hiding it under that hat? And Al would be like, his ear damn near blown the fuck off. What, he get shot with a bazooka? That's crazy.
Nah.
How does he even hear us on the couch right now with that wound?
Son, I was gonna make a hair comment, but then that would have ended the interview right there.
Now, Mark was nice with his hair comment.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
That
You
was
got
good.
one.
Yo, did you guys
Respect.
have any questions you want to ask him now?
I did have one.
You asked plenty. They just sat there smelling them.
No, I was
I thought you
smelling
meant
them.
that you pussied out at it.
Yeah. Dude, the amount of people that have asked me, like, yo, What did he smell like?
Yo,
Why is this
because
the
they
question?
say, okay, so
Not
one
a
of these.
single person asked me that.
No, one of the,
No, Al gets asked that about you.
yeah.
one of the liberal talking points that's knocking Trump right now is that he's apparently like shitting himself, and
Oh, yeah.
and it's like,
Okay, if that's a crime, lock me up. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking
yo,
about?
punch him in his stomach.
What?
Punch him in his stomach.
We
yo.
shit ourselves
he's a
sometimes.
dad now.
You
I
can't
got it.
shit yourself sometimes?
Yeah, I mean, Mark. What are you raising your hand for? Shifty. Solidarity? You shit yourself?
Oh, yeah, he shit himself too.
Yeah, if he eats 3 bites out of a hamburger, maybe.
Yeah, he can't
Who's
eat
allergic
beef.
to red meat?
You're the king
What
of
is
shitting
that?
yourself. You shit
I know,
yourself all
yeah.
the time.
Come on.
I shit in toilets.
No.
Listen, why has this become a poop conversation? We're
Okay,
having
all right, I'm sorry. You're right.
sophisticated
You're right.
political talk.
You're right.
The election is how many days away? 3 weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. We gotta have we gotta be a serious podcast for the next 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We have to show. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Yo.
That's funny.
Okay. So. Well, yeah, the poop thing, that was one of the talking points, that he's like shitting himself. He doesn't smell bad at all. Also,
He's not 6'3".
He's shrinking.
Yeah, so definitely not 6'3".
Okay.
Yeah.
100%. What I will say is my dad is also 81, and he used to be 6'1", 6 feet, and he's shorter. I'll also say that he does not have dementia, or whatever the fuck they're saying.
He's sharp,
Oh, yeah,
dog.
no.
He's
Sharp
sharp.
as a
He's
sharp.
sharp. He's sharp.
And I have a father with dementia. I saw the signs 30 years ago with my dad. I know
Oh,
maybe 20
really?
years
Okay.
ago. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's like I am acutely aware of how they are, and zero sign of that. Not 6'3". You're right
I'd say
about that.
6'1".
Yeah. But also 80. So it's like
Yeah, you could've
you
shrunk.
start to maybe lose a few inches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? But anyway, questions that you guys really want to ask.
Well, I was going to ask, hey, have you seen Shane Gillis's amazing impression of you?
Well, did you see Bussin' with the Boys do it?
Yeah. And he was like, I don't know who that is.
He's seen
and I
that
don't
shit.
like the impression.
He's seen that shit because they asked him, they're like, do you know who Shane Gillis is? He goes, no.
He's 1,000,000% seen.
Yeah. How do you not know? Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, he does this amazing impression with you. And then he kind of takes me and he goes, I heard it's great. I know it's great. And then they move the fuck on.
Yeah.
I was going to ask him. About the impression because I wanted there to be like a cool moment where he goes, I've seen the impression. It's the best impression. It's great, blah, blah, blah. He does like a Trump run on it. Yeah. And then that'd be like a funny moment. And then I was asking his team, I was like, does he like impressions? And this team was like, not a big fan of impressions. Not a big fan. So that's why
Yeah.
stayed away.
He dodged the bullet.
Yeah, literally. Me and him both.
Yeah.
I'm always going to ask, have you ever talked shit about someone then regretted it later?
Oh.
That was one that we had talked about because
Huh.
on the call that he does with RFK after he gets shot, he tells him, he's like, yeah, Biden called me and he was so nice and friendly and I was just talking shit about him. I felt so bad.
Yeah.
And it was like such a candid, honest moment. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, he must do that all the time. But didn't ask.
Yeah.
Just thought about my hair. Just thought about 100 questions I should ask and then just sat there terrified.
It was tricky. Like, I told you guys this, but like in retrospect, what I wish that I did was I knew things you want to ask, at least one thing each, and then I lobbed it to you guys. But keep in mind, in this situation, they say you have an hour. You probably have around 45 minutes.
Yes.
We ended up going for an hour and a half because he was having a really fun time, and he basically. His team was telling us we got to wrap it up, and I would look at them, and then I would just look away.
Yeah.
They weren't going to walk into the interview. I had told Dove in the beginning of the thing, I go, Dove,
Yeah.
we are going to keep going until Donald Trump tells us this interview is over. Okay? He's the man in charge.
And you told us.
Dove is so smart. He could have sat on the side with the Trump team. Right? Okay, Vala wants credit for that. So Vala,
No, I was sitting with them.
oh, you were sitting with them.
They were alone the
And they were
Vala's
talking to you.
texting me. I'm ignoring him
So
too.
Dove, and no, this is how sophisticated Dove is, right? Watch this. He goes to the other side so they can't talk to him, and then he does this. Before we start, he goes, everybody put your phone on airplane mode.
Oh.
Now, I didn't pick it up in the beginning, right?
Genius.
Airplane mode is, oh, you were texting me? I
They
didn't even
can't
see-
text him to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Wow.
I knew they were texting
Wow.
the shit out of me. Love you guys, whoever was
But
helping and supportive.
Listen,
but,
we won the election for it. You know, it is what it is. If you want to
Yeah.
have a nice interview
Yeah.
with, Alex Media is going to make sure you win the election. You're such a sellout to your people, dude.
You're a sellout. I saw you in a Kamala ad 2 days ago.
How
Yeah.
did she use me in an ad?
I know, that's crazy.
You're shilling for the fucking liberals.
You know they paid me $50,000 for that.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I
Actually.
got a licensing fee for
That's
that.
great.
Oh, you did.
$50,000.
That's awesome.
No, he's lying.
What
Yeah,
are
no,
you,
you
what are you
didn't
gonna do with that
fucking
money?
lie.
What are you gonna do with it?
I'm going to donate to Donald J. Trump.
Now we're talking.
I'm donating it.
Yo,
No, go.
Couple things. I was very glad. I said this to you. I was like, I'm glad Schulz is the one leading this, because the day before you said a lot of things that were helpful. One was about them telling us it's early. They were like, they're going to try to end it early. Nobody fucking look in their direction.
Yeah.
We are ignoring them. Donald Trump tells us when it's over.
He's the guy in charge. I listen to the president.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I like the team. Shout out their team. Shout out Alex and Jack. Thank you very much.
And the
for
other thing
making
you
this
said
happen.
was 90% of the people are going to have their opinions formed before they listen to a second of the episode, and you're not going to change their minds.
Yeah.
So don't worry about asking for everybody else. Ask the questions you want to ask.
Yeah.
And I was really happy you said that. That was really...
Because the last thing you want to do is ask something that you don't believe in for somebody else and then have that also get rejected.
Yeah.
So now you're rejected for something you don't even believe in,
Yeah.
which is the worst thing. It's almost like on stage if you're pandering
Yeah, and then
and then the audience, you still bomb.
Yeah.
You're like, I double bombed.
And I use my finite time to ask questions I think they might want me to ask instead of questions
Just
I want to ask.
Ask the shit that you guys want to
Yeah,
ask.
and it's still hard. I wish you guys. It's just hard. He can go.
So-
and you're trying so hard to get your question in, and it's just it's a tough thing.
We do the pod. Pod comes out, right? And obviously we're all like, expecting, okay, what's going to be the reaction to this? We knew it was a great pod, right?
Yeah.
It comes out, the reaction is like, reaction starts with the right. The right fucking loves it. They're like, finally, this is Donald Trump. This is the personality. This is someone who's got charisma. He's making comedians laugh. He's just hanging out talking. And they're like, this is the best interview Trump has ever. Every headline is the best interview Trump has ever done. Whatever. I expected that after it because I think we kind of showed him as a man, right? It wasn't like a gotcha type of interview, which is not really our style. And there was intention with that,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people that do the gotcha interviews, I think it's very narcissistic.
It's for you,
It's just for you. It's like
not for the people.
exactly or it's for your fan base to just go look at you. You held the torch to him.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, it's like you have an hour to potentially influence someone who might be the most powerful person in the world, to have empathy for something you really care about.
Mm-hmm.
And he's listening to you. So how can we create a situation where he actually listens and he doesn't feel bullied?
Yeah.
And there was a moment that you got him to say two things that he never said. A lot of interviewers, they try to get him to say, to admit shit.
Yeah.
And I know he doesn't present as a tough guy because you see him with this coiffed hair and he's in a nice suit, but I think his identity is that of a tough guy, a macho guy. He's a New York guy who grew up on construction sites. He's be tough. And when you try to bully someone tough, the reaction is, fuck you, I'm not going to do it. But he was so comfortable that he said, yeah, we're going to have elections. It was the election question.
yeah.
Of course, we're going to have elections. And this is what I actually meant by it. He never explains his positions, but he fucking explained it. And I thought that was a testament to us creating a really good environment and you even setting up the question in a way.
Thank you.
And yeah, I was just I was really proud that we got to a point where we could even have that back and forth about America.
Yeah.
That
was awesome.
Immigration even
That was awesome.
Yeah, and the IVF obviously really important to me, but I asked everything that I wanted to talk to the potential president about.
Yeah.
And
You even got him to compliment Gavin Newsom's hair. Which that is crazy.
not on my list, but glad we accomplished it. Guys, I got some stand-up shows coming up for the Life Tour. These are the remaining shows of the Life Tour. We are going to Denver. We have added a third show there. Also going to Cincinnati that weekend. We had a second show there. Rama, Ontario as well. We're also going to be going to Salt Lake City. We added a second show there. Reno, we have 2 shows. San Jose, we added a second show. Portland. And then we are wrapping up the tour December 21st in Honolulu, Hawaii at the Blythedale Arena. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Anyway, thank you guys so much for coming out to this tour. It's been absolutely incredible. TheAndrewSchultz.com for tickets. Don't get by the resellers. Go grab those. I will see you out there. Thank you so much. Peace.
Also, guys, quick show announcement. First of all, Stress Factory, we did 7 shows, sold them all out 10 days in advance, tried to add more, we could not. They have an event there on Sunday, so if you are a procrastinating Indian, I'm sorry, you're shit out of luck. I even tried to add another weekend because I love you so much as brown people, but my wife won't let me because I've been on the road, I think 9 weekends in a row at this point, and that's just not happening anymore. Anyway, October 25th and 26th, Richmond, Virginia, November 1st and 2nd, Lexington, Kentucky. That might be the home of the Klan, or maybe that's Louisville. Either way, I would love for you guys to all show up. Let's talk things things out. Let's see what our differences are. Maybe we can make amends. November 22nd and 23rd, Rochester, New York. December 4th. Announcing this right now, I'm coming to Long Island. I've never headlined in Long Island. I am mostly scared of you guys, but now that we interviewed Donald Trump, I feel like you're going to love me. I'm one of the good ones. So I will be at Governor's in Levittown. Come through. All those dates and more at akashsingh.com. Also, we're still doing our thing on fan bases, dropping content there. So check that out as well. Now let's get back to the show.
So, right loves it, right? I'm waiting for the left fallout.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, okay, a day goes by, not really that bad. Second day goes by, I see a headline. Podcaster laughs in president's face. And I'm like, that's kind of interesting. Because I thought they were going to be like, bros, just suck Trump's dick for an hour and a half, whatever.
Yeah.
Then every headline is the podcast that laughs in the president, the podcast trolls the president. And I'm looking at the internet and it's like the right loves it and the left loves it.
Yeah. Choose your own reality.
I'm like, what bizarre world do we fucking live in where both sides, and it was like you said in the beginning of this podcast here, it's just like you go in, you have the glasses on.
Yeah.
And your glasses are whatever your political beliefs are, your religious beliefs, whatever they are. And you view that same content through those lenses, and that's what you see.
Yeah.
And like I know this sounds like grandiose, but I don't mean it to be. It changed the way I see media. I used to think everybody was a liar trying to fluff their base.
Okay.
Now, the way I think media works is there are some people that are honest and they just view it through their lens. If you're a right-wing guy that you like Trump and you really liked his charisma and you saw that come out, you're like, this is awesome. If you're a left-wing guy and you saw us laughing and joking around, you might interpret it as us making fun of him, and that's truly what you see. That's the first wave. The second wave are the people that see those headlines and they grift. They're like, ooh, Trump's best interview ever. Okay, I'll make a video on why it's that. Okay. And the left is like, ooh, they laughed in the president's face. I'll make a video on that. Every headline was copied by every content producer. There were literally like 2 or 3 headlines total, and everybody just made videos about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And this is just algo hunting or whatever.
Okay, yeah. I see what you're saying.
You know, like what is that term? Where you're like trying to play the
algorithm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but it helped me understand. Like I do think people authentically see things based on what they believe. So I have a little bit more. I have a little less resentment for the public.
Okay.
For content creators.
Yeah.
At least the first wave. The ones that just grift because they see the views, fuck them.
Yeah.
But the initial reaction, I go, okay, that was real. You're not just trying to fluff your base.
It's a Rorschach. You really see what you want to see. And I think that applies to a lot of things. Like I feel like there's stuff I can even think of, like, some social thing, or like some guy says something about like, class, and then it's misinterpreted by a whole different contingent about race.
Yes.
And it's like, well, I didn't mean it that way, but now I can see it if you're saying that. Like,
that's what those people really see.
Yeah. Someone being just like, I love the cops. And then black people interpret that like, oh, you're racist?
You love that those cops are racist. You love that those cops beat us up. You're like, no, I love that they like keep.
But if you understand the black people's relationship with cops, then all of a sudden it can make complete sense. And those are the glasses everyone wears all the time.
And the person that says I love the cops hasn't experienced maybe the treatment that some of his black friends have gone through. And if he did experience that, he might go, the cops have always really protected me and I have a great relationship with them. And for that, I'm really grateful. Yeah. And I've seen some fucked up situations with cops as well.
Yeah.
But if you're only in your little echo chamber, you don't have the, I guess, experience to talk about that.
Yeah.
Back to your point, where is the level of grift and I truly feel that way? Where does it start or where does it end? Because that's the thing I can't identify.
Yeah, I feel a little more cynical than you guys do. I know that happens, what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people are feeding their bases what they think they want to hear. And that's the people writing the headlines. I don't know how many. I tend to think the majority of them are, how do I appease the people that subscribe and keep them subscribed?
I think it's, if you make content, you're making it a little bit grifty. And it's like, you're just telling people how to feel.
So I agree with you. I think that, and we've had this discussion before, where like the algorithm, never in history were you able to know exactly what your base wanted as well as you know now, right? Because the algorithm can decide for you.
Yeah.
So oftentimes, like the algorithm dictates the content you make. We've talked about this on the pod before, right? And you see certain like grifty fucks on the internet that basically like, oh, okay, my base likes this. I'm just going to feed them that.
Yeah.
And I think that like we've been very intentional about creating the shit that we like.
Yeah.
And hopefully we get an audience that reflects the things that we like. That means we might get 500,000 views on an episode with Dax that is like awesome. I loved. And we might get 4 million on an episode with Donald Trump. But that's just what it is.
Yeah.
But I think there are people that have less integrity, or they just want to just make the videos that make the most money, and they're just going to run after it.
We are also a little bit privileged to be in a position where all of us have another income stream.
Yes.
So we can kind of afford to do this. Whereas some people, you have a page, your audience wants this one thing. I can only feed them this because I don't have another income stream to fall back on. So we are in a little bit privileged position. But even, I'm not even lying, part of me was intentional in posting. I didn't think I would get that much blowback, but the picture with Trump, I was like, yeah, a couple thousand might unfollow. I want those people gone. And if we were lucky enough to have a Democratic nominee, I would post a picture with them. I want the right-wing idiots to unfollow too. Y'all could go. Y'all can all go. I would like to curate an audience that's like, let's hear what someone has to say.
I just want MAGA. I am MAGA all the way. I'm a prisoner of the moment, and right now I will be a prisoner of that for the next 25 days. When is the election?
Yeah, I didn't want to ask him a question about policy. It was more so about like, how does he truly feel?
Yeah.
Because like in the 90s, early 2000s, he was loved. Like before he got into politics, everybody, both sides loved him. And so I just wanted to ask him, like, now that you got into politics and you have, you know, large groups of people deeming him as either racist or next Hitler and all that, how does that make you feel?
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, I really wish you.
I wish we had 3 hours.
Yeah.
Because like I would love to know that reaction, and I'd love to know that reaction an hour and a half into the pod when he was comfortable. There was even a moment in the pod, like nobody picked up on it, but where I think I asked him, I was like, how does it feel when these people say things about you that you don't believe are true? And he goes, yeah, I don't like it, or it hurts.
Yeah, it bothers me.
He goes, it bothers me.
Yeah.
Like, you're bothered by anything?
Have you ever heard Trump admit that anything bothered him?
Yeah.
But it makes me wonder though, like, again, he's lived a fascinating life. Like, objectively, we were trying to talk about this, like, who's lived a more interesting life than him? But he's like best friends with Oprah all through like the 80s and 90s.
They're going to run together. She jokes around like, we should run for president.
Him and Howard Stern are boys, and they're hanging out doing, you know, radio together.
Yeah.
And then all of these people turn their backs on him. They're like, this guy's going to destroy the country. He's a racist piece of shit, da-da-da. I wonder if that, like, to that idea, like, I wonder if it bothers him.
Yeah.
I think it does.
Like, to that, I think what politics does is, for most people, it brings out what you believe to be the best version of yourself. In other words, what is the most altruistic version of me? And I want that represented in politics. Now, some people think that that is to be staunchly Republican. Some people believe it's staunchly Democratic, right? But it's not indicative of who you know you actually are. Because you want your politician to be the best version of you. But you lose all nuance in that. You know, and I think that's why you get a guy like Stern who's, you know, told crazy jokes and, you know, has had everybody on his pod, and like he's got, you know, strippers, you know, sitting on speakers and, you know, coming during the radio. And now he's like, I think that this guy is a piece of shit. He's a dirtbag, and how could anybody support him? And it's like, okay, well, because when it comes to politics, that's not fun. You know, the stakes are too high. So I have empathy for his position too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't write people off immediately like I did. And now that I know that it's not all how can I grift off of this moment, that people are actually impacted, especially when it comes to politics, I go, okay, maybe you're not being an asshole. This is what you think the best version of the world is, and you're going to support that.